Well, in current news today, Donald Trump's son-in-law, you remember Jared Kushner with the reports about what he was doing earlier? Well, he's the senior advisor in the White House, and he was warned. The U.S. counterintelligence officials, they warned him about Wendy Murdock, and that's the Chinese American businesswoman, and that she could be using her close friendship with Kushner and his wife Ivanka Trump to further the interests of the Chinese government, and they're going to manipulate him. They warned him about this. U.S. officials have also had concerns about a counterintelligence assessment that Mrs. Murdoch was lobbying for a high profile construction project funded by the Chinese government in Washington. That project was a planned $100 million Chinese garden at the National Arboretum, and that was deemed to be a national security risk because it included a 70-foot tall white tower that could be used for surveillance or all different type of things. And people who are familiar with the deliberations over the garden was planned on one of the higher patches of the land near downtown Washington. Now, that could be used for a lot of different reasons for surveillance and surveying the area. You know, the Capitol, the White House. It's a lot of things to go in that process when you're looking at it in that perspective. Now, we all know who she is. In case you don't know, she married Rupert Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch owned Fox, and Mr. Murdoch in 2013. They filed for divorce, so they no longer together. But she still uses her married name because it holds weight. So Mr. Kushner, with details about their assessment of Ms. Murdoch, the people familiar with the interactions, they said the warning was part of an effort by the National Security Office officials, to highlight Mr. Kushner, who's new to government, the need to be careful with who he's dealing with, the people, their interests may not align with the United States, and they might align more with, business, but you got to think about the government. So that's what these warnings were for. Now, neither Miss Murdoch, Mr. Kushner, nor Miss Trump has been accused of any wrongdoing. So let's get that assessed right now. Nobody's coming out blaming them for anything. The only thing people are doing, and I mean the only thing people are doing, is making the information aware of how you vetting someone. Well, he really wasn't vetted; he was just really put in position. So they got to catch him up to speed about concerns of intelligence and all of those things and interaction with people with foreign connections. Make sure that he's following protocol. And look, his interaction with officials warning him about Ms. Murdoch, that's just like routine staff security briefing type stuff. He's applied with all the ethics and disclosure meetings and all this stuff, and a representative for them will come out and vouch for this if they hadn't already. In 2016, Mr. Kushner and all of them were at Trump's inauguration last year with the caption, "Congratulations, Ivanka Trump," and all of this stuff. And Ms. Murdoch was photographed arriving at the couple's Washington home in February of this year. Well, 2017, not 2018. But the project is shelved because of the concerns of the counterintelligence And that's just basically it. So the Chinese embassy both said they will continue to work on the project, but declined to provide details of any development since the groundbreaking. The two sides are working closely preparing the actual construction work. The Chinese embassy, without elaborating on anything, who recently visited the arboretum, couldn't locate any evidence of construction. Any meadows sat at the plane site. So I don't know what they're talking about.